So as you'll notice, I have a makeshift, very fake chalkboard right here. And that is because I'm going to start a weekly segment where I run down my top five NFL MVP candidates. These are not based on betting odds. These are what I feel, although what I feel is going to fall pretty much in line with what the betting odds are. So, that being said, got number 5. This was a tough one for me, but based on what the acronym MVP stands for, most valuable player, I'm putting number 5 this week, and I'm going to give it to Alvin Kamara, Saints running back. Last couple weeks, they've been hampered. Their best receiver, Michael Thomas, has been out. Alvin Kamara has been the big chunk of their offense, especially 2 weeks ago when it was when Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders were both out. It was all Alvin Kamara all the time. Receiving, running, everything was Alvin Kamara. So he is probably the most valuable player on a very good Saints team. You take him off that team, they look entirely different. Obviously, Michael Thomas is a stud, but they're 7-2, 6-2 without him. He hasn't played in many games this year. Emmanuel Sanders is good, but Alvin Kamara is the MVP. Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara takes a lot of pressure off him. So my number 5 is going to be the one that kind of is out of left field, but it's Alvin Kamara. My number 4 is going to be Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills QB Josh Allen. So I found out this week, I did not know that he's been playing with a separated left shoulder. Obviously, it's his non-throwing shoulder, but that's probably quite a problem. Probably hurts quite a bit to throw it, especially when, I've had grade 1 separations, which is like the basic, the most minimum you could actually separate your shoulder, and I was not able to lift my shoulder away from my body for 2 or 3 weeks. So I can't imagine him actually playing quarterback and getting hit and getting dropped on his shoulder or just hitting the ground. So I guess he was like 3 weeks, maybe a month removed from that, and he played lights out against the Seahawks. So it was a big game against a good NFC team. A lot of people were thinking the Seahawks might be the best team in the NFC or second best behind the Bucks coming into this week, and he lit them up. He threw for 400 yards. I think 3 or 4 touchdowns. He might have ran for 1-2. He lit them up. They won by 10. Buffalo Bills are now looked at as, a contender again, and Josh Allen put himself back in the MVP race. He's going to need to continue to play well because of the 3 guys that are currently above him that we're going to talk about, but he definitely got himself back in the MVP race because even when he wasn't playing at his best, he wasn't playing completely terrible. He wasn't playing great, but he wasn't playing completely terrible, so he is my number 4. Number 3, this one hurts my heart. But currently, right now, I feel like I can't get the Bucks game out of my mind. So my number 3 is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Statistically wise, he is definitely one of the best. Top 2, right behind Patrick Mahomes. Maybe not in terms of yardage, but he's got 24 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. He's averaging like 280 yards a game. His completion percentage is like 75%. He is on fire. The Packers have only lost 2 games. They lost against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, who aren't a very good team, but Aaron Rodgers played pretty well, threw 3 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. But the game that I can't get out of my mind is that Buccaneers game because it's not that he just had a bad game or he made a couple bad mistakes. He looked bad. Like, he looked completely terrible. I can't name a thing that he did well in that game. So just for those purposes, he's number 3. Number 2, I'm going with Russ. Russ has been turning the ball over a lot. But in Russ's defense, he is the offense is all they have. In the past, they've had a good defense and a good running game, and then Russ was Russ, but in a limited manner. This year, Russ needs to be Russ, and then some, because they don't have a defense, and the running game's not good. It's all Russ. It's all Russ and his receivers, DK, Tyler Lockett. So yeah, more pressure is getting put on him, especially playing teams with high-power offense like the Bills. You're going to have to throw the ball, and the Cardinals, you're going to have to throw the ball more. You're going to turn the ball over a little more when you're throwing it more. And, Russ, I feel like he's going to press more and more as the season goes on. So, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in, he was the clear front-runner, runaway MVP candidate. But now they're playing good teams with better offense. The defense isn't getting much better. The running game is still non-existent. And he's pressing, and he's throwing a lot more passes. and a lot more passes. He's turning the ball over a lot more. So he's number 2. My number 1 is going to be Patty Mahomes. Dude's on fire. He hasn't really had to be Patrick Mahomes, like the MVP Patrick Mahomes. You know, he's 50 touchdown season where he's throwing for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, offensive shootouts. Their defense is decent, not great, not top notch, but it's decent. And when he needs to, he can still do it. When he needs to turn it on, he still does some things that like other guys just can't do. His stats are something crazy, like 25 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. He's averaging, I want to say, 300 yards a game. His completion percentage is over 70%, probably well over 70%. And he's not just dinking and dunking it. He's throwing the ball down the field. He's a playmaker, man. And right now, after last week, he's got to be the front runner. He's got, with those stats, and it's like he's an afterthought because he's so great. But you can't look at what he's done this year and not put him number 1, especially the way Russell's been turning the ball over. Patrick Mahomes has to be 1, but those top 3 guys are really, really close. Really, really close, and depending on who they play, the matchups, if it's a big game, prime time, that could change. Any one of them next week could be on the top of the list. So right now, those are my 5 for this week. I will be back next week with a new 5. Literally might be the same guys. I don't know. You don't know. Got to see how it goes Sunday. Some new guys might get in there, but this is what it is for this week, week 8, 9, whatever it is, and we'll be back next week, and the chalkboard will also be back because it's a thing. Magic of editing. See ya.